it's actually one of the best thing I probably learned that year in school, or I mean over my first 6 years in school. So
it's like good enough, so you gotta be great, and I'ma do whatever it takes, doing what I love in life, and I'll pay the price, and not stopping even if the shit kills me, even if it kills me.
All right, let's go.
Yeah.
Countdown coming up. 3, 2, 1.
Hello, my friends, and welcome to MattGron Talks. This is episode 157, and my name is Mattias Gronborg, aka MattGron, and here I share my scaling up journey, building my company from nothing to something. And of course, with me as usual, my dear friend and co-host, Svea Malina Lenshoff. How are you doing today, Svea?
Hey, Mattias, I'm doing a lot better. Yeah, I'm still sitting down because of my foot, but it's going in the right direction. You know, I'm like,
Yeah.
Do you know this mouse from this TV show, Speedy Gonzales? I'm like that. Do you know that one?
Okay.
It's like a very fast mouse. And I say that for fun. Yeah, I'm not so fast, but at least I can walk with my crutches now. So we're doing progress, and I'm having high hopes. I will be able to walk next week. Let's check in. But you didn't come here for my foot, I guess. Or if you came, thank you for checking in. But this is for entrepreneurship runs. Yeah. Wait. This is for entrepreneurship runs smack into reality. It's hard with these cables everywhere here. And we do have a framework in place because we actually do 3 episodes per week with different topics. Mattias, do you want to share the framework?
Yes, gladly. And we have a framework for you guys. And every Monday we talk about self-development, and I share my journey growing as a human being and a leader. And every Wednesday we talk about all the things I'm learning in the entrepreneurial process, scaling up my company. And then every Friday I share my weekly self-inventory, and I talk about things that I could have done differently. Doing some self-reflection, growing self-awareness, and I also share things I have learned, and we are celebrating the victories together.
We do.
I think that's the framework in a nutshell.
Thank you for that, Mattias. Then let's start with our Monday episode. New week, new topic. So today I want to talk about role models. We have talked about that, I think, lots of episodes ago, briefly, but I still think it's an interesting topic, and I came up with a really good question, so I wanted to do that one more time. And so first of all, I personally think that role models are very important, and I think you can have multiple role models in your life. But what do you think about role models? Do you agree with me? Do you think they're important to have for everyone?
Yes, I definitely think that it's very important to have role models, and especially probably early in your life. I think that could really help you a lot. And I mean, for some of us, we maybe didn't have these role models early in life, and then we need to, get them later in life. And there's a last date where how should I say, it's the last date when you actually can blame your parents, and you need to actually take responsibility for your own future.
Very important. I agree with that. I also had maybe some role models missing in some situations, or some aspects in my life. But I agree with you. I had some amazing role models later on. Actually, one of them was my last boss when I was still working in Germany, and she has kind of like taken over a motherly role for me. It's a funny situation because, I started out as a freelancer working for her, but then we got closer and closer, and she became like a really great role model for me, like really, a very strong entrepreneurial businesswoman I could look up to. And, she's been through a lot in her life. So it was for me extremely valuable to have her the last couple of years in my life. And I think she shaped me a lot into where I am today. So a little sidetrack here, but this is what I thought about when you said that. What about you? What kind of role models did you have in your life? And I think that could be a family member or a friend or a teacher, maybe. Who did you have in your life?
First thing, thanks for sharing your personal story there. I think a couple of things came to me when you were sharing, and also when you're asking that question. First thing is that I believe you can learn from everyone you meet in life. There is short relationships, there is long relationships in my life, and that last forever. And I think every person you meet, and if you are really listening to that person, you can find a message and learn something. And you mentioned a teacher there, and I think if I look back, like my first leadership lesson came when I was about probably 10 years old, 11, 12, I'm not really sure. It was in school, and we were playing a game. I think the name of the game in English is Rounders or something like that. It's like a Swedish version of softball.
Ah, okay.
So brännboll in Swedish.
Yeah, brännboll. Yep, same thing.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's Rounders, actually.
Yeah,
something like that. And of course, and then you have two teams, and the teacher, he was the judge, and we divided the class in two teams, and we were playing, and of course I was very competitive, and I had a lot of opinions after every ball. I was there talking to the teacher and told him how unfair it was. And the person was on the wrong side of the base when we catch the ball, and and after a couple of minutes, he didn't have any patience anymore with me, and he said, "Great, Mattias. Now you are the judge.
Oh.
Now you are the referee." And there I was standing now, trying to lead a class of 30 people, 10 or 12 years old people, and everyone, they were, of course, having a lot of opinions about my decisions. And the teacher, of course, he also, after every, ball, he was asking, "Okay, so what do you think about that, Mattias?" And, I would say, like, for a very, very long time, I was always looking at that incident or, that day. And when I say a long time, I would probably, let's add 20 years.
Okay.
And after that day, I was thinking, oh, how could he do that? Then one day I started to think about what he actually did, and I started to learn from that, experience. And when you step into role of a leader, like a leadership role, people, they will always have opinions, always.
Yeah.
And it was very, painful. How should I say? Pain is a stepping stone. Is a stepping stone or a touch point for personal growth. So, that came to my mind when you asked for like a role model or something, and you said teacher. But I think time is an interesting concept there. I mean, something happened. I mean, I don't know. It must be like 30 years ago or something now. Yeah. And here I can sit today and actually still learning from that day and the experience I had, and because I have learned even more about myself, something that I thought was bad for like 20 years is now actually okay. That was a good leadership lesson he gave me there, and to be honest, today it's practical. It's actually one of the best things I probably learned that year in school. Or
okay, that's cool.
My first six years in school. So
that's impressive that you say
it has actually helped me.
Yeah, and I think what you say there with like time is an interesting concept here. I feel you have gained perspective, and maybe at that time you were like what is my teacher doing? Like, this is embarrassing, or like, I don't want to be in the situation. But I also feel like now you being a leader yourself and learning more about good leadership, you understand maybe now why your teacher did this. And it's so cool that sometimes you learn lessons later on. I think it's a lot of times like that you see something, you experience something, and in that moment you don't really know what to do with it, but then years later it clicks and like, okay, now I understand. Or maybe now you also understand the other person, why the person did that, and you learn something from it. I think when you said that about your teacher, I actually thought about a quote. I always with my quotes, I don't know what it is with me and quotes, but I read somewhere, I don't know who said that, but it was like, everyone could be my teacher, I just have to listen. And this is, I think, goes well with what you said in the beginning, that you could learn from everyone. And I also feel a lot of times, sometimes people are kind of maybe supposed to only be there for a short period of time, but they are there at exactly the right time. That's kind of what it was for me many times in my life, that I feel, okay, maybe I'm not in touch with that person anymore, but in that moment it was very valuable for me. And I think there can both be negative and positive. I think you can have very positive encounters with people and learn from them, but you can also have negative ones and learn and grow and know what to do differently, or read signals earlier the next time, you know?
Yeah. And for me today, I mean, looking at that day, I can really use it when I'm leading people, when I need to, make a decision, and, people maybe they don't agree, it's not on their terms, I'm taking the company perspective and stuff like that. Then I can really think about that day.
Yeah.
Because it's very easy standing outside, like from the leader, and just having that perspective, like just my own perspective.
Yeah.
And that day, the table was
flipped, reversed,
turned, flipped, and I stepped into the leadership perspective, and on that side, there is a lot of emotional lessons to be made.
Yeah, I understand. But wouldn't it be funny if your teacher would actually see this now, and maybe that person doesn't even realize that he had such an impact? And I think that also happens, that you have an impact on someone's life and teach them something, but you're never aware of it. But just think that you are an inspiration to someone, maybe. What would be something that you would wish you could people like inspire to do or learn from you? Something that's important to you that you would love someone sees and maybe takes it with them from you?
Very interesting question. I think now we are touching on like the main purpose why I'm doing these videos together with you, Svea. And I also felt that last week when I was in a meeting together with two other people I met for the first time, and one of them said something like, I really want to do this and that, and I want to start my own company. And I was listening, and I definitely felt in my core how this is exactly where I was, when I started to pursuing my dreams, starting companies, which led up to the point where I started I Go Moon. And what I want to give them is, I want to be that force, I want to be that push of faith, like force of faith, where they take the leap and go for their dream. Yeah. That's what I want to be.
Nice answer. I like that. Yeah, and I think you are doing that. I mean, you're showing people that not everything is always great and nothing is working out as you plan it, because you can hardly plan anything, right? That's what we learn here. But you show it's possible. You just have to keep on pushing, I think. Yeah, thank you for that. And I think that being
let's
said...
be that positive force.
Yeah. That being said, let's wrap up this episode for today. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. I think it was very interesting. And you guys, if you like what we're doing here, please subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment if you have any questions or ideas for future episodes. And also ring the bell and like this video. And I hope to see you in the next one. Have a great week.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
See ya.